think I got something to prove. Slap the shit out me a nigga if he acting like a fool. And bitches tried to hold me back when I was up in school, but I was beating hoes up and knocking bitches out they.
Hello everyone. Today we're back. We're making candy apples. This is hard candy, so it's not any caramel or chocolate, and we'll be going over measuring tips, cleaning process, and do's and don'ts. Look at how perfect those candy apples are. Like, ugh, they're gorgeous, and this is done in one night. This is a one-night process, okay? So yeah, no 3 days. Okay, so let's get started. First, you're going to go ahead and insert your bamboo sticks. I use these sticks because I like to put straws over them, and for this order it had to be black and white. You can use regular sticks, but the paper straws don't fit over them. And just be sure to insert it good enough so that it doesn't fall when you're shaking it, but not all the way through, so that the stick doesn't go all the way through the apple like I did, but I cut it out. So you're going to get your boiling water. You see that water is super hot. There's no exact temperature, just really hot water. And you see that isn't coming off the apple, so you know it's in there good. So because I'm doing this in one night, I'm sticking my apple in the water a little bit longer, which a lot of people don't like to do because some people say it can turn your apple soft. I don't have any issues with it, so I'm putting my apple in the water for a good 10, 12, 15 seconds. Sometimes I like to count to like 20 just because, like I said, this is a one-night process, so we don't have as much time to let the wax come off the apple, if that makes sense. So you just go ahead and dip all your apples. You can do 2 at a time. I have, if you're in a rush, and just sit them in there for a good amount, because like I say, we're doing this in one night, so you want to make sure that wax is off. These are our apples in one night, so you see it comes off pretty quick. And a pro tip, if you look over to the right, you see one of my apples are upside down. You can do that if the apple is turning too much. It's not going to make a difference once we dip them. So now you're going to go ahead and add in all your ingredients. It doesn't matter how you do them. Just throw them in there. I don't have my heat on right now, so just putting all your ingredients in first. So as you can see, I'm using name brand stuff. I would definitely suggest using domino sugar. If you have to use something off brand, the syrup is what you could substitute, but I would definitely suggest it because this is candy apples. So using off brand candy materials is going to make a difference in your candy. And we want a nice, smooth, clean candy apple. So now that we have all our ingredients in, I am going to turn up my temperature to a high. And I'm just going to just kind of mix those ingredients up a little bit. One time I didn't, and it was burnt pieces all in my mix. So learn from my mistakes. Go ahead and mix it just a little bit. And you can just leave it alone from there and let it boil. And you are going to have to check the temperature for this, but this process does take a little bit longer getting it to that right temperature. This part is honestly so satisfying to watch, but as you see, it's really loose off the spatula, so I know it's nowhere near done. So you can let it sit a little bit longer before even checking the temperature, because there's honestly no point. It's going to look more of a burnt look, kind of like right here, when it's closest to done. And I'm putting my temperature in, and I'm waiting for it to get to hard crack, or hard candy. And you don't want to put it at the bottom of the pan, because you're getting the bottom of the pan temperature. I've learned that the hard way as well. So try to put it in the middle and wait for it to come out. I just realized I said I was putting my temperature in and not thermometer. My candy thermometer is what I put in. So now that we're closest to done is when you add in your coloring and flavoring. I'm doing a dark red because it was a polo theme, I believe this was. Yeah. When you add in these ingredients, it is going to smoke up a little bit, but don't be afraid. That is normal. And I'm just giving this a good mix because I want my color to be in all of the candy, not just one little spot. So now we're about to go ahead and add in our flavor. I'm using, I want to say homegirl name is LorAnn, but whoever she is, she makes some bomb oil. Y'all, this is the best ones. Pina colada. I sound like Medea. Pina colada. Pina colada. Yeah, you see it smoking up real bad, but that's nothing to fear. That means we're there. We're almost there. So I'm putting my temperature in there. My thermometer. I'm putting my thermometer in there one more time to check the temperature. And it says hard crack. So now we're ready. We're ready to go in with our apples. And y'all watch that. Bam. Hard crack 300. Yes, it's done. It's done. And now we about to dip our apples. And look at that apple. Nice and brown. This is the next day. And you're going to dip your apple all the way through, which is why it's so important to use this a good tall pan. So you're not having to do like too much to get the full apple. I actually forgot to put the straw on this one and the second one, but that's okay. Because I think I ate the other ones. They didn't order enough. So I ate the last two. And then I'm getting my spatula and I'm just scraping the bottom off a little bit because you don't want big old bottoms. Okay. And you're just going to place it right on your placement sheet, placement mat, silicone mat, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so as you see, I finally put the straw on the apple. Okay, and it's so freaking cute with this red. Like, it gives me like circus vibes, like that Megan Thee Stallion video. It's so cute though. But I finally put the straws in there. And be careful not to get the straw in the candy. It's not that it makes a huge difference. It's just like, presentation piece. If you're doing this for customers, you don't want the straws all sticky and ugly. And guys, this is a really quick process because the temperature will start to change. So kind of dip quick, but just make sure you're scraping the bottom off. You see each apple, I'm using my spatula or the pan to just scrape a little bit of the candy off. And so right now I'm using my leftover candy, y'all, to dip grapes in. Which, I mean, like seriously, anything in your house, you can throw it in there. Like literally, I put apples, I put oranges in there. It's just, using the leftover stuff if you have any. It tastes good. But, the longer it's sitting on that fire, it will leave a burnt taste, which is why you don't want any of your apples to have that nasty burnt taste. So you want to dip them really quick, and then you can just use all your leftover stuff or whatever. So this part is completely optional. I'm just pouring this into a pan. And what I do is just break it up into pieces, and you can kind of, you can eat it or you can use it as decoration. Like if you break it up, you can use it like for Halloween, things like that. You can just eat it like a lollipop. That's optional. You don't have to do that. If you don't want to do that, you can just skip to the next part. So this is what my pan looks like. And I'm just literally pouring hot water and soap in this, and you're gonna let it sit for like up to an hour. If you want, you can put it back on the stove and turn the stove on for a few seconds to get that candy warm back up. But this honestly does the trick for me. I just let it sit in hot water and soap, and it's usually comes right out. And another pro tip is just to be very careful with this whole process, because I'm pretty sure everyone has burnt themselves making candy apples at least once. It's a terrible feeling. Just try to avoid it. Be very mindful. Y'all, Loki, I left this on it because I liked hearing the water. That's so childish. But anyway, look at our finished candy apples. They're so bomb. I put these things on them because, like I said, they were polo themed. So, you know, a little horsey and stuff. Some little, I think I used like candy, chocolate or something to stick them on there. But they're so bomb. And this is why it's so important to dip your apples, okay? Look at that. That's with no wax removed. It is disgusting. It looks like something they show you in health class or something. I don't know. It just looks nasty. Okay? But voila. Gorgeous apples. Very easy. Very messy. But the results are top tier. Okay? And I honestly feel like y'all deserve a second to get these apples. Like, just look at them. They're gorgeous. Like, they're amazing. So make sure you follow me on Instagram and subscribe. And oh my gosh, my dog is bothering me. Okay, never mind. Mm-mm.